It's a shame that Dr. Dankers couldn't make it to be with us this morning, so I will try to do my best to fulfill his shoes. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, but anyway, I will do my best. We'll already review some of the information regarding the Peruvian market, and as you can see in this slide that I will slightly go again through it, what has happened in Peru is really interesting, and it's a problem because hormonal, traditional hormonal therapy has already gone away. Including the transdermal therapy, which has never grown enough. It fell down, and it's a slightly increasing, but mostly it's gone. Not much prescription, and the oral therapy it's also gone. It's interesting because Dr. Ojeda from Peru just told yesterday, I guess, that physicians from Peru, either female or male, are prescribing their products. I mean. Male physicians prescribe the product to their women, to their spouses, to their wives. Female physicians prescribe or take the product, their own. But when they either other the outpatients, either they don't prescribe it, or if they do, patients are unwilling to take it. They don't want the hormone therapy. So that's why you see that products like Kibolon that were growing near that year, 2002, are presenting a modest participation in the market, and natural treatments are the one that are leading the market. This is interesting. We don't understand why there are still some injectable treatments that are still in use. Colleagues are not prescribing it. It should look like there are patients that are using this medication from a long time ago, and they are still using it. And if we see oral therapies, traditional hormonal replacement therapy is at the bottom. Tibolon is there, showing some slight increase, but the 84% of the market is on natural therapies, and is what patients are asking for. They want natural therapies. We need to do a lot of this. Menopause Society is trying to educate people about the issues regarding the hormonal therapy, about the benefits, about the real risk that there is misleading by previous studies, but we have a lot of work to do there in order to change the situation, which is going to be difficult. In Peru, we're known by a lot of things. One of our things is this historical legacy left by the Incas, their culture, their traditions. And another thing's interesting that we can share maybe in another moment, but most people know Peru. When you talk with somebody about Peru, we talk about Machu Picchu as a sanctuary, but what Machu Picchu really was a university. They prepared their people there to lead the country. They prepared the people there to be the next generation leaders. And they do a lot of research there, including some therapies, some medicine research. They leave us with more than just historical heritage. They gave us some more things. Like, for instance, in the world, us physicians already know about genetically inherited diseases like sickle cell disease, something that is mostly occurring in, I would say, 80% of all sickle cell disease people that suffer from sickle cell disease are Africans of the sub-Saharan part of Africa, or African-related people that live in other countries but come from Africa. And also, if we see Gaucher's disease, this is almost everyone comes from this Ashkenazi Jew group of people that comes from around 350 people that spread in the world. So we also have inherited conditions. The Quechua woman has special characteristics, genetically gone from generation to generation. Maribel already mentioned this study from Dr. Ojeda, where we can see that we have lower ages for menopause, going from 44 years, and these women are now spread all over the country. They go from the Andes and into the rest of the country. So we have it in Lima, we have it in Arequipa, we have it at the north part of the country, we have it at the south part of the country. And they arrive to the outpatients, and they have also severe symptoms. They have really severe symptoms if we compare them with other patients, including the mestizo women, including the Caucasian women, including Chinese women or Asiatic women. They have the worst symptoms, and they appear of patients that could mislead the idea, because they are young women with an earlier stage of menopause. Fortunately, as I was saying, the Incas left us some more information regarding how to treat their own conditions. They already were using some kind of botanic treatments in the traditional medicine in Peru that we are trying to give some scientific information. As you can see, that 84% of the market, which is represented by natural treatments, all of this, we have only 3 options there, okay? One of the options is a black cojocho, Simicifuga racemosa, which is going out of the market down there. If you can see, it is going out of the market, less prescriptions, and also less sales than before. This could be due to this specific compound wasn't an hydroalcoholic extract of the product. Dr. Camille Castello yesterday was talking about a new meta-analysis regarding a few studies done specifically in this kind of extraction. So the important thing when you use a natural treatment is standardization. It's to have a compound that can offer a good amount of the active compound that is on the natural product. So that is going to left us only with like 5 different kinds of soy isoflavones, combine some of them with calcium and vitamin D. But the main treatment is this combination, this blend, which is called warmi, that means women in Spanish, but it's on Quechua language. In Peru, one of the things we are proud of, it's our food. Our food, which is a blend of different cultures. We have Chinese people, we have Japanese people, we have Arab people, Jews. So we have different combinations, and we make this kind of food that we call a fusion. We fusion our food with Chinese, with Japanese, with cuisine from French, from Italy, and obviously we fusionate Peruvian cuisine with Peruvian cuisine to get something better. So that happens because we as a country, we are a blend. We are a blend. I'm using this picture that Maribel didn't like because they're men, and we're talking about menopause. But I use it because you can see in that picture that we have African Americans, Chinese, white people, mestizo, all together. And just not to bother Maribel, I also use the one from the Peruvian national team of volleyball, where you can see exactly the same. We have different people in Peru. We're an immigration nation with all kinds of genetic information that blends together. So why don't we use a blend to treat our own patients? And that's what we have in Warmi, this specific product, which is a combination of 3 ingredients: glucosinolates, beta-acetositerol, and citrus flavonoids. These 3 ingredients bind together, act on the treatment of menopause. Beta-acetositerol is a phytosterol which is located in several foods. The issue with that is you have to eat a large amount of food in order to get enough phytoesterols to treat the conditions you can be treated with it. As I was saying, when we were these days here at the Congress, when women have their own estrogens, it regulates exogenous and endogenous conditions that regulate the levels of cholesterol in blood. So when they lose these estrogens, the level of triglycerides, cholesterol, total cholesterol, and LDL cholesterol rises, and the levels of HDL cholesterol usually goes down. So when you introduce beta-acetositerol, this situation changes totally. It goes exactly the opposite. Cholesterol, triglycerides, and LDL cholesterol goes down, and the HDL cholesterol rises a little bit. As you can see in these studies, that are done comparing the product against Livial, against Tibolon, you can see in this first slide how placebo doesn't have any effect over cholesterol levels. Tibolon reduces it a little bit, statistically significant, better than Warmi that only after 6 months reduces. Why is it like this? Because Tibolon is a synthetic product. It's like hormone therapy. Warmi is a natural therapy, so it will take some more time to act. If you can see this other study of 1 year, you can see comparable results between Warmi, the combination of beta-sitosterol, Tibolon, and isoflavonoids, and Tibolon, while soy isoflavones have a plain action. They don't act on cholesterol levels. And if we see LDL levels, comparable results. If we see the 1 year study, comparable results with mild effect, but not statistically significant for soy isoflavones. So the longer the time that a patient is taking the product, the better effect. It's a natural product, it will take some time to do the action. Tibolon, we do it right away, but it's a synthetic product with his own conditions and adverse reactions. Regarding HDL, it is known that Tibolon will lower the levels of HDL and it will rise a little bit, but not as in the previous state. Placebo, no effect. You can see how the combination of products in Warmi, including beta-sitosterol, will rise the levels of HDL cholesterol slightly, but if you do the math, it will be better to have lower levels of cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and higher levels of HDL. You can see it here also. This is a 1 year study where HDL cholesterol rises. It's down with Tibolon, and this is something interesting with soy isoflavones. They can also rise levels of HDL cholesterol after 12 months of treatment. Citrus flavonoids, one of the other ingredients, they are part of the flavonoids family, but they are not isoflavones. As I was talking the other day with something, they're related. They're another flavonoids, but they're not the same family. Citrus flavonoids are the family of flavonoids, and the main action is over bone turnover. Citrus flavonoids act over this protein, which acts as a transcription factor to help the differentiation of pre-osteoblast into osteoblast, which will work producing more bone. And how can we measure that? Where Tibolon uses a surrogate indicator, which is osteocalcine. Osteocalcine is a protein that is formed by osteoblast in the bone. And if you have a menopause age women and you measure osteocalcine, it will be rising due to an incremented destruction on bone. You can see how Tibolon lowers the level of osteocalcine compared with placebo, is statistically significant. This is a 6-month study. You can see that Warmi didn't reach the same statistically significant diminution, but it is near to that, and it's definitely better than placebo. In the study of 1 year, you will see that kind of change with this data that I didn't bring in this presentation. And the last ingredient, the one that I like the most, maybe, it's glucosinolase. These are chemicals that can be found in the crucifera vegetables family. The issue is that to have enough of these glucosinolates from diet, you should eat larger amounts of food. You need like to have a bouquet of broccoli every day for the rest of your life. No one is going to do it. My patients, when I recommend them to eat broccoli on concept, they eat like one small piece of broccoli, maybe 2 or 3. It won't work. It won't do anything. So you need to give enough product, enough of a natural product to have an action. And the interesting action of these phytochemicals is that they regulate, they enhance the action of some phase 1, phase 2 enzymes that act over the liver metabolism of estrogens. So to talk about that a little, when you have a woman over the menopause age, they have low levels of estradiol, like less than 20 picogram per milliliter. And most of this estradiol comes from the action of extraovarian aromatase over testosterone. This same enzyme can also act over androstenedione to produce estrone, which is the main estrogen in postmenopausal women. But there are other enzymes, as I was saying, and one of those enzymes is the 17-beta dehydrogenase, which normally, or usually in a fertile age woman, will transform part of the estradiol into estrone, but this is an ubiquitous enzyme, and glucosinolates act enhancing the action of these enzymes. And in a menopause age woman on climacteric syndrome, when there is more estrone, it will change this estrone into estradiol, raising the levels of estradiol just a little bit, enough to change the life of our patients. You can see here how placebo is not doing anything. It was supposed to be doing it. Tibolone also is not doing anything because it is not its mechanism of action. So we weren't expecting tibolone to do nothing there. But over the months, you can find a statistically significant elevation of the levels of estrogen to a certain point between 40 to 50 picograms per milliliter, which is a normal level in a woman in fertile ages during the 7-8 first days of the ovarian cycle. This is the 1-year study. You can see that it's rising here also, with tibolone and soy isoflavones not doing anything regarding this. When estradiol rises, interleukin falls. Interleukin is a marker for inflammation that is normally elevated in women with menopause and is related with vasomotor symptoms and bone turnover. You can see how tibolone reduces the levels of interleukins, but it bounces again, and how with Warmi it was going down and down slightly over the months. This is a 6 months study, and you can see here the 1-year study when they show the reduction in interleukin 6, but also in interleukin 8. Both reductions are statistically significant and with no action from tibolone or soy. And as some of you might remember, by this action done by glucosinolates and the reduction of interleukin 6, there's less stimulation over the rank ligandum. And with less stimulation over the rank ligandum, we have two things. First, we have less differentiation into osteoclasts. And with osteoclasts that are not stimulated by interleukin 6, these osteoclasts will be doing less activity than if we have a lot of interleukin in the blood. So it will help the action of citrus flavonoids over bone, diminishing the bone turnover and delaying the appearance of osteoporosis. Finally, I'm going to show you just some surveys. This one is the green scale, where they ask patients about some of the symptoms that bother a person with climacteric syndrome. These last two bars are from tibolone and Warmi. You can see comparable results, diminishing anxiety, depression, vasomotor symptoms, and also enhancing the sexual activity, the sexual health of our patients. That last part was evaluated by another survey. This is the McCoy modified scale, where they asked for interest going from negative to extremely positive interest in sexual intercourse with their husbands, fantasy, excitation, satisfaction, more frequency to reach orgasm, less vaginal dryness. Those conditions related with this increase on estradiol levels on blood, which are one of the interesting actions of Warmi. What are we sharing with you is that what we think is that we have an extremely difficult group of population to be treated. We have women that start menopause at a lower age, and with really severe symptoms. If we have a blend that works on this kind of patients that are really more symptomatic in Latin America, but specifically symptomatic in these Quechua women, and the product can do, they can give a better quality of life, why it can work in other women? We need more data. We need to do phase 3 trials. We're in phase 2 trials right now, but we're planning to do phase 3 trials here in Europe, and we hope that this compound, this blend of ingredients will give another opportunity to treat menopausal symptoms in a better way. Thanks for the attention, and we still have some time for some questions. Thank you very much.